All right, guys. So our next main topic here today is the Suicide Squad. There have been early screenings of it and everything, and all the reactions to it are surprisingly. Actually, I wouldn't even say surprisingly because I think everybody, at least myself, has expected this to be a fairly good film because James Gunn's attached to it. So I've been excited to see the movie. I know John and Rick have been excited to see the movie, but now we have our first actual. There's not full reviews out yet by any means, but there have been the social media reactions to some early screenings of the Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad 2 or James Gunn's Suicide Squad, whatever you want to call it. They're just calling it Suicide Squad though, so we can go with that. But nevertheless, the movie comes out August 6th, so we'll have to wait and see what we really think about it. But we're going to go through some of these early reactions and just you'll see that there is a very consistent appreciation for the film. So we got Vanessa Armstrong, who I'm not familiar with. They said a hilariously violent and heartfelt story that's surprising in all the right ways, enjoyable for everyone, hardcore DC Comics fans and newbies alike. Go see this movie. Suicide Squad is an epic all-out war movie that demands to be seen on the big screen. Gunn does. Jesus, I can't read right now. Gunn does it again with a hilarious cast of oddballs and underused comic characters. Big laughs, bigger action. DC has another winner on its hand. Finally, Jesus, that's Dorian Parks and Rec. He worked at Collider for a while. I remember Dorian. And then we got Jimmy to the O. Just checked out Suicide Squad and calls it weird and wonderful. There are laughs aplenty and some of the most outrageous and original visuals you're likely to see in the cinema this year. This is the Suicide Squad we've been waiting for. Bravo.
It's only taken how many tries now?
Well, to be fair, this is only the second try on Suicide Squad.
True.
I'll give him that credit. And it's James Gunn's first try. So we'll go with that too. But then we got Collider Frosty. Speaking of Collider, we got Steven Weintraub here. Says, absolutely love the Suicide Squad. The movie is super violent, extremely funny, and a huge home run for James Gunn and DC. Tons of surprises and things I wasn't expecting. Just a great movie. And we'll wrap this one up here and then just skim through here. And then we got Chris Gates here who says, the Suicide Squad is complete mayhem, similar themes and heart to Guardians, but tonally much more similar to Gunn's pre-Marvel work. It's real bloody. Hilarious, but be warned, the emotional stakes are real. It's not the carefree romp the trailers promise. So that's interesting. I think if you go on and read more of these, the most common thread that I think I saw was it's apparently a very, very violent movie, but also very fun. And then obviously there's some heart to it. Like the gentleman down there just said before, was I forget who it was all of a sudden, but it was Chris Gates who said that. But nevertheless, John, you hear this information. You're hearing all these early reactions. Are you happy? I'm sure you're happy to hear it, but like, is this what you expected to hear, or did you expect there to be some negative comments? Because I went through a bunch of these, and I never found one negative anything. It was all very, very, very positive. So what are your thoughts on this? You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. This is what I hoped to hear from the early reviews, the early feedback from this movie. I there was a part of me that wanted to expect this, but it's DC, it's Warner Brothers. Their track record isn't great. Their track record with directors isn't great too. So as much as James Gunn was towing the company line and saying, "Oh no, they let me make the movie I wanted. They this, that, and the other thing," we also heard that from, oh, Zack Snyder picked, Joss Whedon to come in after him and take over filming on Justice League. Oh, I forget who's the director. David Ayer, was out promoting his version of Suicide Squad, and then you find out later on that these guys, things weren't quite as all rainbows and roses as it appeared. So I'm super happy to hear all this. You saw what James Gunn did. Everybody knows what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy. If you've seen his earlier work, you know how funny and, heartfelt it can be and stuff. And so, and I guess the biggest thing I can say about all this is I actually bought tickets to go see Suicide Squad on Friday evening. The movie comes out Thursday. There were tickets available for a Thursday showing at IMAX. but I chose to get tickets for Friday evening just because schedule-wise, it all worked out better, and I didn't want to really try and finagle it and go through all the hassle of rearranging stuff to go see it and go see the initial showing on Thursday. I got thinking about it and I thought, well, I'll buy the ticket. I'll buy the ticket for Thursday's show and I'll just hang on to it. I can always, turn it back in if I change my mind or I don't, if it really won't work out, if it's going to be that much of a hassle, I can just turn the ticket back in. I'm not turning that ticket back in now. I'm going to go ahead and go to the first showing I can see it because I'm that much more excited about it now. So I'll probably go see, I won't probably, I know I'll go see it again Friday. But I'm going to go ahead and see that opening show as well.
I feel that, dude. I'm very excited for it. Rick, does this make you want to go see it opening day, or were you already going to see it? What do you think about all this?
It sounds cool. Like, I mean, it's good to hear good reviews coming out of it. It does seem like it's going to be a very bloody, violent movie, which I think is a good thing. I think I hate to say it, violence sells. So people love that kind of stuff. They love blood and gore and, all that sort of stuff. But it sounds like it's going to be funny too. And from like that, what was it, Chris Gates or whatever he said? Like there's emotional stakes in it. So, I mean, I think that's a good combination for what it sounds like to be a good movie. So
I'm with you, dude. I honestly have to say the emphasis that he said on the emotional stakes is kind of unexpected. But if you're familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy, it
it's a pretty
tugs on your
emotional
heartstrings
movie.
a little bit there, especially there on the end. Groot
Come
sacrificing
on, Groot.
himself. That's
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, but that was kind of the only one. I mean, I wouldn't say anything else was very emotional during that movie by any means, but it
No.
was very heartfelt. I guess at the end too, when they all
Well,
held hands on the
It's
Infinity
like I ain't
Stone.
your dad, I
the
ain't your
opening,
father, but I'm your daddy.
Mary
Was that in
Poppins,
that one?
y'all.
That was Guardians 2, though. I was
Oh,
comparing
I know.
Guardians
I'm
1.
just
Oh
saying.
yeah,
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Guardians 1, the very opening scene with him losing his mom. I mean,
yeah.
that's a
That's
gut
fair.
punch right there. That's a hard scene to watch. I mean, it flips really quickly and starts with the fun, like him dancing around on the planet the very next
Mhm.
scene. But that
Yeah.
opening scene is pretty rough to sit through.
That's true. That's the thing too, I guess a better way of phrasing it is when you think of Guardians and when you think of Suicide Squad, you don't inherently think of there being any sort of, like, strong emotional beats to it, you
No.
know? Like, most
Mhm.
you don't really expect that out of any comic book movie, really. This is not something that, like, first comes to mind. So it is nice to hear that, though, because what really, at least to me, that emphasizes a more character stuff as opposed to, like, the first Suicide Squad, like, for comparison, you don't really care about any of those characters all that much.
Yeah.
They all just kinda get thrown in there, and they get music video montage intros, and, like, you don't really get connected to anybody in the movie, like, they stick with Deadshot for you to get, like, connected to, but I wouldn't say they really do, like, a great job of doing that, like, 'cause I didn't really when I think of Suicide Squad, I don't think about caring about
You
any of
think
the
about the
characters.
opposite. You think about not caring.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, like, it just
They're try to be like throwaway characters. Like
yeah, it just wasn't all that movie wasn't all that good, so might be an unfair comparison, but nevertheless, I'm excited for it. I'm
yeah,
glad that and you gotta take a little grain of salt with it. These early reviews always tend to be mostly good information.
yeah, they're not gonna share. I feel like a lot of bad reviews.
Some people just like to shit on stuff, but I remember going back to Wonder Woman 84, for instance. We went over the early reactions for that, and it was all, like, love and praise, but then the movie comes out, and
As it should have been.
yeah, but despite what I thought about the movie, it was a very mixed reviewed movie. Like, it was not all like, all the early reviews or, social media reactions were all positive. But then it comes out, and it was like for every one person that liked it, there was an equal person out there who hated it or didn't like it, we'll
Yeah.
say. I don't know about hate it, because I didn't hate the movie, I just didn't really care for it. There were inconsistencies with it. I liked some of the stuff, but then there was more stuff in there that, like, I was just like, I don't know if this is working. Like, I don't know if it's working. But hopefully that's not the case with this. I have faith in Patty Jenkins, so I mean that kind of surprised me too anyway, but I have faith in James Gunn, and this style of movie really fits James Gunn. 'Cause that's another thing you have to think of is when James Gunn had the whole, got briefly fired from Marvel, every studio came knocking on his door like, "You come make whatever you want for us." And
Right.
then Warner Brothers got him to come on, and he could pick any DC movie he wanted. we literally learned that like they offered him Superman, and
Yeah.
come to find out, he specifically chose Suicide Squad. It wasn't something that they pushed on him or anything. He wanted to do this movie, and then couple that with him James himself has come out and said that this is the most fun he's ever had making a movie. It's the biggest movie he's ever made, etc., etc. So he's talking highly of it. John Cena's Peacekeepers or Peacemaker is getting his own spin-off. So I mean, like that's I mean, obviously at least that character's good. You know, if it's this is all but nothing but good things. Nothing but good things pointing to this being a good movie. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that regardless. Did you see,
If
by the way,
if it
when I pulled this up, did you see these figures? I never
Yeah.
saw these. These are
I
the McFarlane ones.
I
Polka
had
Dot
not
Man's even
I
got
had
his
not
own
seen
figure.
those. That looks cool. Those will be good.
Man,
I can't believe Polka Dot Man. That's crazy.
I know, right?
where's
I
that
wonder
on
if I
tour?
wonder if you're gonna be able to buy that base with it. Like, do you think that'll come as a set, or do you think that'll be released individually? Because the base
I
and
think it'll be
stuff would be cool
individual.
to have with it too.
Well, I follow McFarlane Toys, and they always like load up like new figures and stuff. And yeah, it looks like they're all going to be like individual.
Yeah.
I think.
I wonder
Okay.
if like the base with the dead bodies here will be the Build-A-Figure.
Well, like
That'd be a cool. That'd
they
be a
have a
Okay.
version of like as a Bloodsport where like helmet, no helmet. They got a Peacemaker figure that's helmet, no helmet. Like they've got different versions of them. I know.
Yeah, and they'll probably. I know
Do they
Harley's
have
in
it?
a couple outfits, so they'll probably
That's what I
have
was gonna say.
multiple
Do you think
ones.
Harley has
Probably.
a different one?
Yeah, because she's in one that's like that we see in the trailer. That's more like the Arkham outfit.
Yeah.
A little bit more
Yeah.
like that one. That would be a good hot toy, really. I mean, I guess you don't even need that hot toy. You could just buy the Arkham Harley Quinn and then pop the Margot Robbie head on it, and so there you go. You got it. You
Yeah.
got the Margot Robbie Harley Quinn video game outfit. But yeah, I'm excited for it. You guys got anything else you want to add? I can't wait to see this movie.
I was just gonna say if anybody's worried or if anybody just knows James Gunn from the Guardians movies, like I would strongly recommend you go watch Super, because all these
Mhm.
reviews talk about how violent this movie is and how it's like a return to form for him. So like if you want to see a movie that's like I think going to be a lot more tonally similar, especially in terms of the violence, I would recommend you go watch his movie Super. First of all, Super is just a great movie. It's a really good movie, and it's Rainn Wilson. It's hilarious and it's fun, and it's got emotional stakes too. But it's also super, super violent.
It's very
And
violent.
like I think that will anybody that just knows him from Guardians, I don't think knows quite what they're in for as far as the violence level goes. That he can unhinge if given the opportunity. So
That and Slither.
Slither, yes.
See, I never
I've never
actually
seen either of
finished
those.
watching. I've only seen bits and pieces of Slither, but I know a lot of people speak pretty highly of Slither. But it was one of those movies that like not a lot of people have seen, and it was
Yeah.
James Gunn. So,
Yeah.
and then Nathan Fillion's in that as well, I believe, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. So he's obviously showing up in this. He's obviously going to be one of them that dies, though, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like for sure. I don't think James Gunn would pass up killing off Nathan Fillion since they're like good friends. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
he's
Like
probably
if I
probably
was
the
directing
worst
a
way.
movie,
Yeah.
I'd kill your character.
I think the worst way is reserved for Michael Rooker because on all the like, if you remember, like at Fandom, he kept giving Michael Rooker so much shit. Like, I bet he goes out
If I
in a
just
pretty
murders
good way.
him, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. The question is, though, guys, what do you think about this? Are you excited for the Suicide Squad in general? Are you happy that all these early reviews are just very, very positive? I didn't see one negative one. I'm sure there's one out there, but nevertheless, we'll just have to wait and see. But let us know what you think down in the comment section below.